If UD gets in a game, I'll cash up you $5.
Oh, wait. Hey,
Y'all
we got that?
said it.
We got that? We got that? Okay, I think we got that.
UD gets in the... Okay, let me switch it.
No, no.
Give me one bucket.
I'm going
If
to
UD
edit that.
gets in,
I'm going
it's
to edit
one
that.
bucket.
I'm going to edit that. That's going to be the front of the YouTube video. All right? Y'all got that. So, Ryan, now we'll bring you into the show. And first things first, we'll start with the local team. We'll get to the pain you felt just in...
Into the pain last.
We'll get there in a few minutes. We'll talk about the Miami Heat first.
All right.
And the Miami Heat really dominated the Hawks in that first game. Duncan Robinson led the way, 27 points, 9 of 10 shooting, 8 of 9 from 3.
Yes.
Jimmy Butler, 21.6 rebounds, 5 assists. And the main storyline really is Trae Young with only the 8 points on 1 of 12 shooting. What did you see from that matchup?
I'll tell you what. I've been watching the Heat since I was a little kid. You know, back at home, everybody let's watch the Heat game. That game, that was Miami Heat basketball. That was what I was used to. Those years where it fell off a little bit, it's back now. And this is a team who can go... It doesn't end here. They're going deep into these playoffs. I'll give y'all that. Y'all going far. And made Trae Young look bad.
Trae Young?
He was ice Trae.
He was an icy Trae. He was ice
He
Trae.
was ice.
Ice cold.
Trae. He was cold. Cold as ice. What did he hit a 3? 0 for 7 from deep?
I don't believe so. Yeah,
0
over 7, yeah.
He wasn't orchestrating. He was trying to do too much. I know his game is a kind of, let me take over, my team needs to win. He couldn't do that because the Heat are coached well. And that's the problem. They didn't come into this game thinking that the coaching would be up to par, which was a mistake. The Heat have always had good coaching. And he was shut down that night. They exposed the Hawks. I really think they did.
Yeah, everything what you said is true. And then some. The Miami Heat, we all know the culture of the Miami Heat. It's
Team
defense. They go for it every single year, and sometimes it's been at their own detriment. They really try to force things together, like when we had Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
Remember when we had Josh McRoberts? We signed him to...
Kelly, though. I'll give
I
him
did not.
that. You didn't like him?
I did not like Kelly.
He stretched the floor a little bit there.
He stretched the bench, which is where he should have been.
He stretched the bench.
He should have been on the bench. He never performed what his contract or really what we needed from him.
Mm-hmm.
He was a stretch big man that occasionally hit shots, but really didn't offer anything else.
Other than the shot, no, I don't believe so. But
he wasn't effective on the boards. He wasn't a good passer like you see with Jokic.
Oh, no, not at all.
He was.
I wouldn't even compare the two.
Yeah,
he's nothing like
they're
Jokic.
nothing like Jokic.
Not an orchestrator at all.
But those days we saw, like, for multiple years, the Miami Heat tried to construct a roster to win now every single year, and that's their philosophy. And I give them credit for that because you know they're going to compete. You know what their intentions are, and that's what really drew in Jimmy Butler. So while it didn't work for a few years, it attracted a star like Jimmy Butler who's so serious about winning. And is so perfect in the Miami Heat culture that now you've created a great team around him. You have Tyler Hero, 6th Man of the Year, and eventually we'd love to see him start and see what he can do for this team. Bam Adebayo,
I for sure would like to.
Gritty, strong, athletic, can guard 1 through 5.
Yeah, he can play the 1 through 5.
Yes,
he bring the ball up the court.
He brings the ball up. I mean, definitely multiple times a game.
Definitely.
If the ball is in his hands anywhere on the court,
it's fine.
As long as he's not shooting threes.
But he could. That's what I'm saying. If he can get that little piece of his game, Bam is.
He'd be unstoppable.
He's X Factor.
He'd be absolutely unstoppable. He's already a beast in the paint, and he's not really as tall as you would think he is. Him and LeBron are about eye to eye. He's like 6'9" I only think he's 6'10".
Small for a center, very undersized for a center.
But he makes it work with his athleticism, with his work ethic, which is all what Miami's about, what the Heat are about, and all the way back to Udonis Haslem, who's been with the team for God knows how long at this point.
Longer than I've been on this earth.
It feels like it. It feels like I think he was drafted in 2001. He's 41 years old. I went to a game 2017, last game of the season. They played, I believe it was Washington, and they were fighting to get into a playoff spot. However, they needed a few other teams to lose. It really wasn't realistic, but there was some hope. And 2017, once we knew, you're watching the other games on your phone. I'm sure the coaching staff does that too because they need to know how serious to take the game.
Right.
Once we knew it was out of hand, in comes Udonis Haslem.
Get in there, UD.
And we gave him a round of applause because we thought this was his last game. 2017. Think about how different of a world that was back in 2017, and Udonis Haslem still here sitting on the bench.
Still, gray hairs. Remember the braids?
Oh,
He's got
yeah.
the braids going.
Oh yeah, nah, he's got none of that anymore. He's
No.
old head,
Oh man.
old man that comes down the bench, shoots
Hey.
the rec shot, jump shots.
I'll never forget that one game. He came in, got 2 fouls, or was it 2 techs and left?
Yeah, that was against
That was-
Dwight Howard.
It was. That
Him and
was
Dwight
close.
Howard when Dwight was that last year I think,
It was
last year or
last
2
year.
years ago,
Mhm.
1 or 2. But he is the embodiment of the
He
Miami
is.
Heat.
He's Mr. Miami. Because he's still there.
Ooh, I think some people are gonna say
No,
Dwayne
D
Wade.
is Mr.
Yeah.
305.
It's
I said
305.
He's 305. I'll give you the Mr.
Okay.
Miami because he's still there.
Okay, we'll call him Mr. Miami. But him still being with the team and his jersey will be in the rafters one
Oh,
day.
yeah, for sure.
But it's not necessarily that he's like I don't think he's ever been an all-star.
Mm-mm.
He's never been this dynamic offensive piece.
Right.
But he is the Heat. He
He's a
is
core
what the
piece of
Heat
what the
wants
Heat
to
are.
be. Yeah. He's gritty. He
Mhm.
will slap you in the face, punch you in the
No-
mouth,
no
keep my wife's
pushover.
name out your mouth. He is what the Miami Heat
Yeah,
need.
yeah.
I figured you'd like that.
Yeah,
I
that was
figured it'd
good.
also take you a second.
That was a good one. That was a
Thank
good
you, thank you. I tried. But he is the Heat, and
Yeah.
you know, not even getting on the court. You know, when you think Miami Heat, you think him. You
D-Wade.
think UD. You
Mm-hmm.
think Miami. He's perfect, and that defense, that work ethic, is really what stifled Trae Young.
Mhm.
Watching that game, as soon as Trae Young came across half court, double team,
Yeah. That's how they're
switching
playing.
every single pick,
That's how you have to play Trae
and it
Young.
worked.
Exactly, and they're gonna do it every game.
You might as
What you
well.
do about it?
And me being at the game 2 Fridays ago where they played the Hawks' second last game of the season,
Oh, before this season.
before the season,
Okay.
completely different mentality of how to guard Trae Young.
Yeah.
So-
those are 2 totally different games.
Trae Young had 36, Trae Young had 8.
They were letting him come free off screens. They weren't switching. They weren't picking up after half court. That game, as I said, that's how you win that series right there. That's how you have to play Trae Young.
And it was
They're
perfect.
going to.
It was perfect how they
Yes.
did that compared to regular season, postseason. Let him think he
That-
can
that-
take over.
That's what it is.
Let him
They
think
let
he
him
can do
think.
everything by himself
They
because
let
he
him.
did. He
Mhm.
was amazing.
Yeah.
My dad wasn't a believer in Trae Young going into that game, watching him play.
In the regular season or
Yeah.
this last one?
No, going to the regular season, he wasn't.
Okay.
He didn't believe in him because my dad's an old head.
Yeah, he's like,
You see the skinny little dude,
What's
Jack
he gonna
shoots
do?
threes. Like
like
he finally turned on Steph Curry. Like this is
Okay.
what we're talking about here. So
Mhm.
with Trae Young, he wasn't much of a believer, and he sees Trae Young doing what he did, facilitating like he did, scoring like he did. It made him believe. But that's also because Miami chose to not show their cards, not show how they're going to handle Trae Young.
and that's the coaching.
And now in the playoffs,
Mm-hmm.
the half court press really
Adjustments.
it was perfect by Miami Heat. Absolutely perfect.
That they're always thinking. They think. A lot of teams just think we got the guys, they got guys. Let's see who guys are better. No, the Heat they'll put their guys in the position to be better, and that's what they did.
They got the
Mhm.
guys that are willing to do the dirty work.
Exactly.
Jimmy Butler is scrappy.
Fighting around screens.
He does. I mean, I saw Bam Adebayo was on JJ Redick's podcast. I'm not sure if you listened to that, but he was talking about their experience in the bubble,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very clear that their mentality was different from everybody else, and it worked. They got to the finals and were not expected to. They weren't hanging out with their buddies like you
Mhm.
saw Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum hanging out.
outside by the pool.
Exactly.
kicking it.
They were
They were.
all serious.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't look at me. Don't even come over, dap me up. Even when we're just in the hotel.
This is a business trip. That's how they took it.
Exactly. That's how
Business trip.
Jimmy even made his coffee brand out of the
He
bubble.
did.
Yeah, Big Face
Ooh.
Coffee.
Whose barbershop was that they had out there in the bubble?
Well, they had an actual barber shop in
Nobody
the bubble.
owned that?
I don't think so. I
Could've
think
swore somebody
just like the
did.
chefs, just like how they brought in the top chefs. I think
Mhm.
I don't remember who it was, but I'm pretty sure the guy's name held some worth. I don't remember who it was.
Mm.
But they weren't just having a player cut somebody's hair.
No. I thought it was somebody who owned it. I thought somebody.
I'm not sure. It could have been, but that seems like
That's
a
awesome.
lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Having to play playoffs in the bubble.
How long ago was it?
Now we're packing out FTX Arena, full capacity. Great game to
yeah.
watch.
I love
And
it.
we have game 2 tonight. I believe it's at 7:30. I didn't write this down, but Miami dominated in the first game. Didn't let the Hawks really come within 20 the entire second half.
Mhm.
The defense persisted. The attack on Trae Young insisted. And nobody on that team is really able to create a bucket outside of Trae Young. You have
No,
Bogdanovich.
I don't think so.
No, you have Bogdanovich who can occasionally. You have Gallinari who was their leading scorer, but
He
he
was.
doesn't move. He gets the ball, turns around, shoots.
He's not mobile now.
He's not that good of a player I mean, I say that he was their leading scorer.
But he's not usually. That's
No.
the thing.
He's a dying breed. That type of
Yeah.
stretch big, you give the
Mhm.
ball, turn around, shoot.
Yeah, that stretch forward type of.
He doesn't back anybody down. He doesn't put the ball on the deck.
No.
When he does, he dribbles off his foot. Like I'm pretty sure he did one time on
Yeah,
Sunday.
he did have a turnover.
That's not what they do. So the Hawks have a lot to do to overcome what Miami have done so far in just one game. How far they set them back, and really have to make Atlanta really process on how they can attack Miami better in the next game. And I don't see a way they can do that. Do you see any potential weaknesses in Miami's game that Atlanta could look to exploit?
The thing is, they don't because they're not built for that. The Hawks are built for an offensive onslaught. So when they run into these defenses who can set up these plans to completely X out a key piece, they're not set up to win the series, I believe.
No, they don't have enough talent.
No.
They don't have the
They're
defense.
not deep enough either. The Heat's bench is deep. You got people that can come off the bench. I'm not even talking 6-man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking lower than that they can come and give you 10.
Oladipo didn't play.
Exactly.
Morris didn't play.
He
Markieff
didn't.
didn't play.
Nope. He
Didn't play a single minute. Didn't even get in with the scrubs. You got Highsmith going on in there, and Oladipo's not getting minutes.
That could be. Could it be strategic?
I like to think so because you might need to use an Oladipo, you might need to use a Markieff Morris against a
Right.
better team,
Right.
and there's frankly no reason to play them right
It's
now.
not. What do you look what happened? There's no need. They can literally play the rest of this series the way they played that game.
Yeah, and then
And be
if
fine.
they play the exact same way at the 5-minute mark, just like we just saw,
Mhm.
you'll see Yerk Seven come into the game. You'll see Highsmith come into the game. Maybe even see Udonis Haslem come into the game. That'd be great. But if UD comes in, that means the series. I think UD wouldn't come in until the series is over because
Yeah.
I think so much about the Miami mentality.
Yeah.
Like you saw the crowd chanting during the end of the game, like UD,
Put 'em
or
in.
something along those lines. But I also think if you bring in UD, it could kind of be a sense of like, oh, we felt like we've taken care of business,
Mhm.
and that's not what Miami
Oh,
would
no,
do.
you don't wanna do that
I think they would only bring him in when they feel the issue is dealt with, the business end of things is done,
It's game 4. You're up
Yeah.
5.
because it's going to be a
Second
sweep.
left. Get in there, UD.
I'm okay with saying it's going to be a sweep. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. Hawks showed me no reason that it won't be a sweep.
Yeah, Trey is not gonna be an evil villain in Miami.
No, absolutely not.
No.